Every man thinks he knows what women fantasize about. Candlelit dinners, soft music, rose petals on the bed, sweet kisses under the stars. But here's the uncomfortable truth. What actually runs through her mind late at night is not soft, not sweet, and not something she'll ever say out loud. It's darker, more primal, and far more dangerous than you'd ever guess. She won't tell her friends. She won't write it in her journal. She won't even whisper it to you, even if she trusts you with everything else. But every woman carries one secret fantasy that gnaws at her. A desire she keeps hidden in the shadows. A forbidden dream that would make you see her in an entirely different light if she ever confessed it. And that's why she keeps it buried. Because if you knew, you'd never look at her the same way again. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is the key to understanding what women really crave but will never say. Her fantasy is simple but powerful, the dream of losing control. On the surface, she's in charge of her life. She's strong, independent, self-sufficient. She manages work, family, decisions, responsibilities. She wears control like armor, and the world praises her for it. She tells everyone she doesn't need help, that she can handle anything, and she can. But here's what no one talks about. That control, as empowering as it is also exhausting. And in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, her body aches for the exact opposite. She craves a man who makes her feel safe enough to surrender. Someone who allows her to put the weight down, to stop thinking, to stop planning, to stop holding everything together. Someone who takes her out of her mind and into her body. This is why women are irresistibly drawn to confidence. To grounded men who move with certainty, who know who they are before they even say a word. It's not arrogance that attracts her, it's the energy of someone she can trust to lead. Someone who makes her feel like she can finally let go. Because in her secret fantasy, she's not making the choices. She's not worried about how she looks, what she's saying, whether she's doing it right. In her secret dream, she is taken, guided, wanted so completely that she forgets everything else. And here's the paradox most men never see. The more independent and powerful a woman is in her daily life, the stronger this fantasy tends to be. The CEO, the boss, the one who seems untouchable, she's often the one who craves surrender the most. Because the higher the walls she builds to function in the world, the more intoxicating it feels to let them fall in private. But she will never admit this to you. It's too vulnerable, too risky. She fears you might judge her. Or worse, you might use it against her. So she hides it. She keeps playing the role the world expects of her, the good woman, the composed professional, the one who has it all together, while secretly longing for the opposite. If you ever catch a glimpse of that side of her, even for a second, it will shock you how deep it runs. Psychologically, this all comes down to polarity, the eternal dance between masculine and feminine energy. Masculine energy, at its core, wants to lead, to claim, to create direction. Feminine energy, at its core, wants to feel, to flow, to surrender. When a man embodies calm, grounded certainty, the feminine naturally responds by softening, by opening, by letting go. This isn't weakness. It's not about domination or control over her. It's about giving her a place where she feels safe enough to release the endless tension she carries. And here's the key. This fantasy isn't about danger. It's about safety. A woman can only let go for a man she trusts deeply. That's why the guys who hesitate, who second-guess themselves, who beg for approval, never get to see this side of her. They don't inspire surrender. They inspire caution. But the man who moves with calm authority, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't need to over-explain, he's the one who unlocks her secret dream. Because without words, she knows he can handle her. And once she feels that, her whole body responds. Picture this, you're at dinner. She's commanding the conversation, confident, clever, making everyone laugh. Then you lean in, lower your voice, and say you're leaving in 5 minutes, and she's coming with you. You don't ask. You don't explain. You simply say it with quiet certainty. On the outside, she might tease you, roll her eyes, pretend to resist. But inside, her stomach flips, her pulse races, because in that moment, you've taken her out of her head and put her into her body. You've just sparked the exact fantasy she keeps hidden. And here's the dangerous truth. Once you awaken that side of her, she will never see you the same way again. Every other man will feel weaker by comparison. You'll be the one who touched the secret she hides from the world. The one who gave her the ecstasy of letting go. When you hear women talk about their ideal man, the nice, polite, predictable checklist version, remember this: that's what she feels safe saying out loud. That's the public version of what she wants. But the fantasy that keeps her awake at night, the one she will never put into words, is this one. To finally let go. To stop holding the world together. To be so completely wanted that she doesn't have to think, doesn't have to choose, doesn't have to stay in control for once. Most men will never see this side of her. They're too careful, too timid, too afraid to lead. And so she keeps her dream buried, waiting for the one man bold enough to wake it. The question is, are you going to be that man? Or are you going to let her secret stay locked in her imagination, where it will never touch reality? Would you like me to add more vivid storytelling examples, little scenes where this fantasy plays out in real life, or keep it more psychological and reflective like this? You said, more long. ChatGPT said, got it, you want this even longer, deeper, and more immersive, something that feels like an experience, almost like a chapter in a book or a powerful monologue. Here's an extended, cinematic version with more vivid scenes, emotional depth, and psychology woven in. Every man thinks he knows what women want. The dinner dates, the flowers, the kisses in the rain. The slow, sweet romance they show in movies. And yes, those things have their place. But here's the part almost no one dares to talk about. What actually runs through her mind when she's lying awake at 2 a.m. is something entirely different. It's not delicate. It's not polite. It's not the carefully packaged version of love she can post about on Instagram. It's darker. It's primal. It's the kind of fantasy that would shock you if she ever told you out loud. And that's exactly why she never will. She won't tell her friends. She won't write it in her journal. She won't even whisper it to the man she loves most. But every woman carries one secret fantasy that burns quietly in the corners of her mind. It's her forbidden dream, the dream of losing control. Now, on the surface, this sounds simple. But it isn't just about sex. It isn't just about physicality. It's psychological. It's emotional. It's spiritual. All day, she's the one in charge. She makes decisions, sends the emails, runs the meetings, cooks the meals, pays the bills, keeps her life, and often other people's lives, in order. She is constantly thinking, planning, calculating. She's in control because she has to be. And that control becomes heavy. No one sees it, but it weighs on her. And while the world praises her for being so capable, so independent, so strong, that very strength is what creates the hunger deep inside her. Because desire doesn't live in the mind. It lives in the body. And the body doesn't fantasize about schedules, to-do lists, and text message reminders. The body fantasizes about release. She dreams about someone who can take all that pressure off her shoulders, not by asking, not by negotiating, but by simply stepping in and taking the lead. This is why confidence is so magnetic to women. True confidence, not arrogance, not loud bravado, but that quiet, grounded certainty that says, I've got this. You're safe here. Because when she feels that energy from a man, something happens. Her body softens. The armor drops. The walls she's been holding up all day start to crumble, and for the first time, she feels the relief of not having to be in charge. Her secret fantasy isn't about danger, it's about trust. And here's the paradox. The stronger and more independent she is, the more intense this fantasy becomes. The high-powered executive who runs her company. The single mom who handles everything on her own. The woman who seems like she doesn't need anyone. She is often the one who aches the most for surrender. Because the higher the wall she builds during the day, the sweeter it feels to let them come down in private. And this is why most men never touch this part of her. They're too cautious, too polite, too afraid to make a move without explicit permission. They stay in their heads, trying to do the right thing, and in doing so, they fail to give her what she secretly craves, someone strong enough to guide her out of hers. Because here's the thing, she doesn't just want you to ask her what she wants every step of the way. She doesn't want to plan the entire interaction, think through every move, decide every detail. That's her life all day long. In her fantasy, she wants to stop thinking. Picture this. She's at a dinner party, running the conversation, making everyone laugh, the life of the room. She's completely in control, or at least, that's what everyone sees. But later, when you're alone, you look her in the eyes, lean in close, and tell her you're leaving in 5 minutes, and she's coming with you. You don't ask. You don't explain. You just say it with a calm, unshakable certainty that makes her breath catch for half a second. Outwardly, she might laugh, smirk, or playfully protest. But inside, everything changes. Her pulse quickens. Her body wakes up. Because for once, she isn't deciding. She isn't leading. You've just taken her out of her head and into her body. And that is the core of her secret fantasy, to be so completely desired, so completely guided, that she doesn't have to hold anything together anymore. Once you awaken that side of her, she will never see you the same way again. Every other man will feel weaker by comparison. Because you'll be the one who gave her something the world never gives her, the chance to surrender. And here's what you need to understand. This is not about overpowering her. This is not about force. This is about safety. A woman can only truly let go with a man she trusts. That trust is built not by aggression, but by grounded strength, by showing her you are a man who won't flinch, who won't hesitate, who won't break when she lets you see all of her. Because deep down, that's what she fears most, that if she ever showed this side of herself, if she ever stopped pretending to be in control, no man could handle her. But if you can hold that space, stay grounded, stay calm, she will give you a part of herself she's never given to anyone else. So when you hear women talk about their ideal man, the one who does all the sweet, safe, polite things, remember, that's the version she can say out loud. That's the mask. The real fantasy, the one she keeps locked away, is the moment when she finally stops holding the world together. When she can let the weight drop. When she can feel so completely wanted that she loses herself for just a moment, and in that moment, finds a part of herself she didn't know she'd been missing. Most men will never touch that side of her. They're too timid, too careful, too afraid to lead. But the man who can see it, who can feel it, and awaken it, becomes unforgettable. Because once she's experienced that kind of release, that kind of surrender, she can't go back. The only question is, are you going to be that man? Or are you going to leave her fantasy where it's always been, locked away in her mind, safe but unfulfilled, haunting her every night while she smiles politely in the daylight?